Now,
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Now, calling all angels. Now, calling all you angels.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rated R for Recovery. That's Rated R, the number 4, recovery.com. You can find us on the internet as just what the logo says. And also, if you, this time, those of you listening at home, those of you here in the studio, take out your phones and go to YouTube and type in Rated R for Recovery, and we'll come right up. And if you could like and subscribe, that would help us a great deal. I'm an addict. My name is John.
Hey, John.
John. And my co-host?
Just a nice girl who could never say no. My name is Joy. Welcome to the show.
Well, Joy, thank you very much. Hey, Joy.
Yeah.
What is Rated R for Recovery?
I thought you'd never ask. Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. You know how we do that?
How?
Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment. We strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Thank you, Joy. That's awesome. We do our show from the KRZ studios in South Fort Myers, Florida, and we are heard around the world on YouTube. We are sponsored by our main sponsor, Kimmies Recovery Zone. Everett's here for them. And now, as you can tell, those of you listening at home, we are doing this show in front of a studio audience. And once again, audience, make some noise for us, okay? Joy, did we get anything we need to announce this week?
Well, Sisters by the Sea
Why don't you
is
give
a
that one,
local
too?
women's recovery weekend. It's held in Naples at the Hilton. You can Google Sisters by the Sea 2026. They have speakers, they have entertainment, they have lots of activities going on, and of course they are by the sea. They're by the Gulf, so you can like get in a little sun and water if you wish to. It's June 12th through the 14th. And it's a wonderful weekend. So Google Sisters by the Sea. You get your registration at the Hilton in Naples. It's a great time.
Very nice. Thank you, Joy. Okay, so let's get right to the show. Our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a world traveler. Been in recovery for quite some time. He calls Yellowstone National Park his hometown, right? Or your home base. Welcome, Joe D, to the show.
All right, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe, we'll get into the part about your tremendous life today, but it wasn't always so tremendous, was it?
No, in fact, I spent 50 years here in Fort Myers. I grew up here, so I went to Cape Elementary, Cypress Middle, and Cypress High, and I come from a long line of alcoholics and drug addicts in all 4 sides of my family.
Do you remember your first drink or drug?
Like it was yesterday. So
Tell us about it.
I was in a cow pasture on the 4th of July with my 2 best friends, and I brought the ice, and the guy that worked at the restaurant, Mike, he brought the bottle of Jack Daniels, and the other guy bought the Sprite. And we mixed it together, and I'm going to tell you, the stars were brighter, and I was funnier, and those guys were funnier. And I should have known something was wrong because I blacked out the first time I got drunk. So then I woke up the next day, and I felt perfectly fine. So I had never really drank before, so my body, from a physical standpoint, having to do with the first step, reacted differently to alcohol. These other 2 guys, they were grounded because they puked all over their house.
Now, how old were you then?
I was 12.
You were
Late
you were
bloomer.
12. So you had the wherewithal to provide ice and a chaser with
Yeah.
that, whereas what we did was take the strongest bottles of booze we could find, pour them all into one container, and then we chased them with a can of warm high-C grape juice. That's what we chased it with when we were 12, when we were years old. How did that
That's
escalate from
vomit.
that first drink?
Well, speaking of robbing bottles, so to speak, my parents and my 4 sisters in my family are not alcoholics or drug addicts. So I used to take my dad's syringes and stick it through the cork and pull out the booze. And then I'd mix it all sometimes in glasses or mix it with, something else. But I always drank for the effect. That's what I drank for. And it just went from there. I got into the restaurant business when I was 12. I was a bussing
When you were
tables.
12?
Bussing tables at Mona Lisa for the Perone family that still own it today. And I'd work 5 to 2 a.m. And then coming home, I would smoke a J on the way home and walking home at 2:30 in the morning. And I loved that lifestyle. My heroes at the time, they'd come in about 11. They were in their sharp brown vest and brown pants and their bow ties. They were the waiters at the Brown Derby.
Brown Derby,
And that's
next
why I
door.
became a waiter.
It's funny you should say that. Well, now that our lives had paralleled, I was the karaoke host and DJ at
Yeah.
Mona Lisa's off and on for 20 years. In fact, Angelo, who owns the restaurant now, was this big when I started working there. It's funny that you should say Mona Lisa's. Anyway, so, and they hired you, Mr. Perone hired you when you were 12 years old?
When I was 12 years old, I bussed tables at Mona Lisa's, and I just thought it was so fantastic because I was around all this lively action and everything, and the
Yeah, you
bartender was a female, Lisa, and every time I went behind the bar, she'd always try to hug me, and then she'd try to slip me out of her car and have sex with me. So I miss
Yay.
those days now.
All right.
La, la, la.
Notice everybody just got silent, Joy. It's a little disturbing, to tell you the truth. You were 12 years old. Okay, so now if you're like or if like me, or we've heard Joy's story that our drinking and our drug use, whichever it is, progressed from that point on. It didn't get better; it got worse. Tell us about it, and tell us how your parents reacted to you using and drinking.
Well, first of all, anybody that knows the restaurant and bar business, it allows you to drink and use while you're working. So that wasn't a problem. So my parents, were watching me because my great uncles owned bars up in Ohio where my family's originally from. So my parents would watch me like a hawk, but I was sneaky, and I would sneak out of my parents' house when I was 13 and ride my bike 5 miles and slip into my girlfriend's bedroom, and we'd have a couple drinks, and, then we'd fool around and stuff. But alcohol was my first choice and first go-to.
And so, how? Like again, I'm going to ask the same question. How much did it progress? Like your drinking started just casual, like you said, with the guys in the neighborhood. A couple of drinks, you blacked out on your first drink. So, and then when did you go again? What? How did the system? How did chronologically did it, explode?
Any chance I had to drink or use, I did. So I used to buy joints from a guy behind the portables when I was in 9th grade at Cypress Lake High School, and we'd smoke it there. And I usually drank during school. We'd bring bottles in. At the time, our principal was one of us. And so it was real loosey-goosey at Cypress. Now, you got to understand, this is before they brought in any cops into the schools. So we could bring drugs and booze in. And I remember my first day at Cypress Lake High School, I went around from the bus into the parking lot, and there were guys that literally had bars built into the back of their cars, okay, in the parking lot. And that one guy was up on his truck bed selling bags of dope, and I was like, damn, this is the place for me. I'm going to like this. So then as I got into college, it just progressed where on my days off, I would drink 18 to 20 hours a day and use drugs. And then I get into the hard drugs, and of course, because I'm a nice guy, I want to help my friends out. I sold a little pot and a little LSD, and this continued till even when I went to University of Florida. I actually had a full ride to University of Florida. They paid me to go to school there for radio, television, journalism. I had to jump through some hoops, and I had already been published here in the news press when I was 16. But I literally took their money the second semester, went to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, drank it all up, and never went back to my classes again. So that's how alcohol affected my life.
And how did you get? What did you? When you were held accountable for that, how did you explain this?
They called me in, and I
Yeah,
remember
I guess they would.
The lady said, "Can you write a statement about why you're not, here anymore and what happened to the money?" And I wrote, "The University of Florida doesn't fit me as a student or a person." And she read it, and she kept going, She couldn't. It was such a, I guess, personal statement that she couldn't,
Argue
refute it.
Yeah.
Well,
that was that?
Didn't they want the money?
No money. I was on a grant. Me and the guy I sold LSD for, he was already teaching undergrad classes. He was working on his master's, and we both lived in the student ghetto. You know, I would walk up to the Purple Porpoise, and I'd go in there sometimes at 11, and I'd be there
Guessing
till
that was
2
a
in the morning.
bar, the Purple Porpoise?
Yeah, Purple
Very
Porpoise
nice.
Bar and the Smiling Dog Saloon where you stuck to the floor. I actually passed out there one time on the back mat one time for a little while. But you see, even back then, you know, my parents were sending me to AA, and I'm thinking, you know, they sent me to Yana when I was 20 years old. I was on college break, and I'm thinking, what's a nice guy like me doing in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? Because I had 5 car accidents in 7 months, but that was just bad luck and poor circumstances. I'm, you know, just give me a good job, a good front, and I'm, you know, out the door.
For those of you that don't know or may not be from this area, Yana is a clubhouse in Fort Myers that stands for You Are Not Alone. So while they were sending you there, were there any nuggets of information you were getting, or any little seeds of hope, or seeds of maybe I do have a problem? When did you finally get to the point where you knew you had a problem, if in fact you may have known all along?
Well, let me tell you, the 12-step programs were a lot different, and especially the guys that went to Yana. Like, if you brought up the topic, you weren't sure you were an alcoholic, this big guy, he's dead now, Ross Porter, he'd come over and he'd wait till you finish. He'd lay $5 down next to you and say, you know what? Drink Saloon is a mile away. Go find out if you're an alcoholic or not. And I was like, damn, I'm not talking to any of these people. But I actually was befriended by a guy named Robert Hollander. He was dead. He's dead now. And he was my first sponsor. And Robert was younger. Because, you know, I'm 20 years old. Everybody's like older than Methuselah to me, you know. Robert was like 38, and he had a successful business. And, you know, just like Dr. Paul says in his story, Acceptance, you know, I knew I was screwed up, both mentally, physically, and psychologically, you know, and spiritually, but there's something comfortable in the familiar. So I didn't want to let go of that until I had something that I could trust, and I didn't trust anybody.
And Joe, when Joe is referring to Dr. Paul and different things that he's referring to in different literature, he's referring to some recovery literature that we're exposed to early on and continue to be exposed to this day, and what we try to show other people as we progress into this, as we help others, as we try and carry a message of hope to others. What was the last part of your debacle like?
Well, I actually was in Winter Park, Florida, Orlando, and I was a high-end waiter, and I had been drinking for probably 18 hours.
Were you a waiter that was high? Is that what
Yeah,
you mean
yeah,
by
of
that?
course,
Okay,
all the
just
time.
checking.
And drinking, you know, I'd pour mimosas, one for them, one for me, one for them, two for me. You know how it goes. So anyway, I passed out at the wheel and hit a car with a child in it.
Oh.
And I had the insurance card, but my insurance was bad because my parents had given me the money and I'd spent it on a 3-day bender, and I had pot in the car, and I think I might have had something else. But anyway, the cops came, and so that's when I was arrested. And you know what? You think, as looking back on it now, I would be like grateful or, you know, glad I didn't hurt anybody. I was only going like 5 or 10 miles an hour. I was pissed off, man. I was pissed off. I got caught. And I had to hire the fat man. This attorney in Winter Park, Dennis Salvaggio. He defended all us guys. And he just told me, he said, you know what? I knew you were an alcoholic the first time I talked to you because you blamed your parents, the cops, the probation. You know, I blamed everybody, you know, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm the innocent guy here. That 70s song, Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song, everybody had done me wrong. And that's why I drink and do drugs.
And so is that the final drunk?
It was actually the time when I finally quit selling drugs because Dennis took me back to the house, and I was associated with some guys here that had badges, and so he made me quit all that. He convinced me, and he got me off from serving a year in prison. They wanted to send me in prison. The DEA was hot on my trail. They had been listening to my phone conversations. Thank God I never talked on the phone. And he took me, after saving me from going to prison a year, and he's driving me home, he says, you see all these nice homes and nice houses and nice families? I go, yeah. He goes, you're never going to have any of it because you're a drunk. He said, now you got a serious problem. He goes, I defend guys like you in Winter Park who are on their 50 UI and they've lost everything. The family's gone, the business is gone. They're living in a 1-bedroom apartment and they're just frankly living to drink. And he goes, now you're one of these people. And I remember getting out of his car and I said, thanks so much for saving me, Dennis. And I walked up the steps and I packed my bong and I cracked a beer because booze and drugs was my solution. It was never a problem. It was a problem for other people because of my behavior, but for me. So it took me another 5 years to get really serious. I was physically, mentally, emotionally dependent on alcohol. So my first sobriety date was January 24th, 1998. That's when I got serious, got a sponsor, and started working the steps.
And that is your sobriety date to this day?
No.
No.
I'd like to tell you, and let me just tell you, the 12-step program works, okay? All of them work, okay? It's not a facet of being a one-chip wonder, okay? What happens is I did not want to do the deal, and I had reservations. And if my experience is I've sponsored and taken 45 guys through the steps. If you have any lurking notion or reservation, you're screwed, blued, and tattooed. You're going to drink eventually. So my sobriety date now is 11/2/07. Fortunately for me, I only have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks between my sobriety dates, so I didn't have a lot of wreckage in between after my relapses.
So you were able to cut yourself and come right back and admit your faults to your fellows and go on from there.
Yes, and I was scared. You know, I was scared of the consequences because one of my buddies down here in Fort Myers told me, he goes, dude, we can only beat the odds so long. You know, I mean, I'm the guy that, when you take my keys away at your house at the party, I'm pulling out the golf club and I'm going to knock all your windows out. And I'm the guy that was planning beatings here and I beat, I was that guy. And I'm the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde they talk about.
So we're hearing what it was like. We're here what happened. What is life like today for you?
Life today, being 18 and a half years sober, is far from perfect. I don't have $1 million in the bank. I don't own a home here in Fort Myers. But it's the kind of life I wanted. So basically, I go to Jackson Hole, Yellowstone, and I work in the most beautiful national park in the world. It was the first national park. And I take people and educate them about the ecosystem and the animals. And the money's good too, don't get me wrong. But I do it because it's my passion, just like I did in the Everglades. I first learned about animals and stuff in the gifted program here, and so I was an Everglade guide for 20 years. And then I go and live in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I study Buddhism. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I got sober, and in '98, my guys from Gartner pulled me up to Minneapolis, and we borrowed $150 million from the venture capitalists and did a company called Techies.com. And the one guy about 2 months into it pulled me aside and said, hey, we're glad you got straightened out, but we never would have brought you here if you weren't sober. And that's just some of the gifts I've experienced in sobriety. But today, my life is wonderful.
Joy, you had something?
Yeah, I had some interesting archives experience in one of the fellowships, and
So what happened is I went to the international convention in 2000 in Minneapolis. If you've never been to an international convention, I would strongly urge you to go. It's one big sober party, and I got there, and some of my friends were like, hey, these guys need help. They're doing a history presentation. I'm like, okay. It was right in the church behind the Minneapolis Convention Center where we were having all the events. So I went over there, and I heard this guy speak, and his name was Cersei Walsey. And at the time, Cersei was 54 years sober. He was from Dallas, Texas, and he had sponsored Ebby Thatcher after he had been on the Bowery.
Tell everybody at home and people here who Ebby Thatcher was.
So Ebby Thatcher was the person who brought the Oxford group, the 4-step program, to Bill Wilson. So he was instrumental in getting Bill in, but he never really stayed sober himself. So Ebby stayed sober the longest down in Dallas, Texas for 7 years, and Cersei was his sponsor. So Cersei told these wonderful stories, and I was just enthralled. So I got into their group, Archives International. It's a nonprofit outside of the 12-step programs that we would put on, like help put on events like Ed Mackey used to do, a history conference in February, and we'd help with that. And then I'd go around, because I was really the only one that had really good health. I was young enough. And I would interview people like Mel Barker, who's passed away now. He was 64 years sober, I believe. And Bill Finley, he was 57 years sober when he passed away.
Now, for those of you, again, listening at home, and for those of you here, he's putting out all these names that I'm sure half of them, I don't know who they are. So I'm just assuming that these are people that have been around 12-step fellowships, that are well-known, that may be circuit speakers, and maybe people that are well-known in the fellowship.
Mel B.
Joy.
Mel B. has written some books. You can look up Mel B. for Mel Barker.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, and so you live in Thailand. My friend David Donald, that I went to high school grew up with, lives in Thailand. Oh, live in the mountains there. Anyway, so if you had something to suggest to somebody in here or what's watching at home that may be struggling like you were, that maybe just didn't have that instant, maybe just didn't realize that they wanted to change, what would you say to that person?
I would say, what Bill Finley said to me. Bill Finley was a guy that was arrested in Lorain, Ohio, 39 times when he was drinking, okay? He was a real one of us. After 6 months of sobriety, he went to work for the Lorain County court system, and he retired there. He was one of Clarence Snyder's. Clarence Snyder is the guy who really started the meetings in Cleveland, Ohio, one of his sponsees. Bill worked and was instrumental on the whole getting the court card signed. It took them 12 years to get that done, okay? These guys worked tirelessly. And Bill said, I asked him the same question at the end of my interview, and he thought for a moment, and this resonates with me because I felt so bad about myself when I would relapse. I'd be like, man, I gotta... So Bill said, he thought for a moment, he said, hold your head high. He said, be a good member in good standing of the 12-step community and know that guys gave their whole lives. And Bill opened up 2 treatment centers and did all this kind of stuff. He was one of those guys in Lorain County, Ohio, that gave his whole life to the 12-step movement. And he said, but be proud of who you are and be proud that you're sober today and you can hold your head up high.
And if you're struggling, it's okay to struggle. Well, we all have struggled, or most of us have struggled. And it's to the point where I got to get to that's where I'm at the last house on the block, as some of us say.
That's who we are.
And then I get that gift of desperation where I can't do this anymore, and I don't want to hurt the people I love, and I don't want to hurt the people that love me. And then there comes a time where I've got to have the open-mindedness to just say, okay, I'll accept what you have. Let me try a different way, because I don't have a drinking problem, I have a thinking problem. And if I change the way I drink, I think. If I change the way I drink, if I change the way I think, then I change the way I live, and change the way I drink too.
And we're here, and the doors are open. The doors are always open.
Yes. Did we leave anything out for you, Joe?
I would just suggest it comes down to the 6 words, all the traditions, all the steps, everything out of the 12-step community. What Cersei used to end his talks with, he said, just aim to trust God, clean house, help others on a daily basis, and you'll have a damn good life.
Give Joe a nice round of applause.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Stay right here. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to a gentleman that I've got the opportunity to share the stage with on many occasions in the different musical events that have gone on in this city. Well, we're going to listen to and hear from Mayor Kevin Anderson right after this.
Yeah.
Woo.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen. but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmies Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmies Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on YouTube. Yay. All the episodes from, I think we're at episode 47. Yes. That's what we're at. Absolutely.
Who knew?
Episode 47, My How Time Flies. So you can see all these episodes on YouTube. You just go to YouTube, type in Rated R for Recovery, hit the like and subscribe. Doesn't cost a dime. It just... Yes. Okay. Yes. Is your mic on?
No.
Yeah, it
so
is
we
now.
weren't on. So we weren't on YouTube when we started in January of a year ago.
I believe we were.
Oh, then we should have more than 47.
Well, I don't know. So
Okay.
this is not. So I lose track of things. So maybe we weren't. You know
Okay.
my mind, so
right.
I forget what I have for breakfast. So just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, next week our friend Mike Manzi will be telling his story on the show.
Aw.
And from the band, what's the name of the band? From WASP. WASP, the ever-popular Johnny Rod will be here in the studio.
Yay, Johnny Rod.
So right now, sitting next to me and sitting next to Mary
Joy would
Anderson,
be my name.
all around.
I'm Al.
Wonderful friends. I'm going to introduce you right now. Can I introduce you? Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by Kimmies Recovery Zone, and now I'd like to introduce the founder, creator, and backbone behind Kimmies Recovery Zone, Mr. Al Kinkle.
Yeah. Whoa. Geez, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here tonight, and especially a big honor for me because I love this guy we're going to talk to tonight, have a little conversation. Our Mayor Kevin Anderson, just a wonderful person. Big round of applause before we start hearing all this good stuff. Welcome, Mayor. Glad to have you. And, U.S. Army veteran, served 3 years in the military police. Wow. Former major with the Fort Myers Police Department, 24-year career. He's still at it. Still policing us. After 15 years in the top security position for Chico's, he went on to serve 2 years in the city council in Ward 4, and before that, before being elected to mayor in 2020. So working with the mayor, just a few things I'd like to say, working with the mayor and the city council, what leadership we have here in Fort Myers, and we're certainly blessed to have you here tonight to find out a little bit more about Fort Myers and what makes it tick. And I think the leadership and the city council and, of course, our great citizens of Fort Myers really got a vibrant community led by you, Mayor.
Thank you, Al.
With deep roots in the community and a lifelong commitment to service, Mayor Anderson is focused on building partnerships, guiding growth with improving the quality of life of all who call Fort Myers home. Mayor Anderson, thank you so much for being here with us today. Without you, I wouldn't be here tonight. I told them that if you didn't come in, I wasn't coming in.
No. Is that it?
So let me say thank you for that introduction. Of all the introductions I've received, that one is certainly the most recent.
Nice.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
Life's too short not to laugh.
I love it.
That's right.
Okay, so before politics, what life experience shaped the leader you are today? Before you got involved with politics, we know a little bit.
So, believe it or not, Al, I grew up hating authority, hating the police.
Okay.
Grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
Was the second youngest of 6 kids. Our mother passed away when I was 4. My dad was a blue-collar guy, an electrician. And only by the grace of God did my 3 brothers and I not wind up in jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't have the parental supervision that most families had, and we made poor decisions, but fortunately, we never went too far.
Right.
And believe it or not, it was a young lady, a friend of mine wanted me to go to a Police Explorer meeting, and I said, hell no. And then I was at Baskin and Robbins talking to this young lady, and I asked her, hey, what are you doing when you get off work? She says, I'm going to the Police Explorer meeting. I said, oh man, I always wanted to go to one of those. So I showed up, and she didn't, which was the first of many times in my life that would happen. But exactly. So the sergeant who ran that meeting so impressed me with his commitment to the community that it literally changed the path, my life path.
Wow.
And it got me interested in law enforcement. At that time, I was...
How old were you?
Was probably 15.
Wow.
At that time, I was studying to be a culinary artist.
Oh.
Only problem is I have no sense of taste.
Yeah.
I mean, look how I'm dressed.
Not a good position for you to be in then.
And so it had, I mean, I could have survived as probably a short order cook.
Right.
But he changed my life. And and really got me interested in law enforcement. And I think I was the first police explorer to actually go into law enforcement from that post.
Wow. Well, his influences are blessings, and we're certainly grateful to have you here again tonight. I can't say it enough because, we worked a lot together through the city, and the things that you've done here, I just have so much respect for what's done.
Following up on that, because I was right there on the fence and really could have gone either way, and someone came in my life that put me on the right side of the fence, and at that point, I don't know what happened, but I just started, like I had a servant's heart from that point on. And that helped shape me as a police officer here in Fort Myers, knowing my past and which way it could have gone. I was one of the first officers assigned to the schools in 1983. Yeah. And it was my background that helped me relate to the kids and have such a good impact, and made friends, lifelong friends with these kids. They're now adults with kids going off to college.
That was exactly my question to you, was, seeing how easy it is to fall off either side of the fence. Does that affect your work today?
Oh, yes. I never forget that I am only here by the grace of God, that the right people at the right time had an influence on me that kept me on the right path and got me to where I am today.
Yeah, and you have that ability to serve. That's really so important. It's not forced upon you. That's something that came natural to you. And, a lot of people, it doesn't. They have to learn it.
Right.
And it takes a long time for some people. But food and beverage, we certainly missed Jeanette. That was my path, food and beverage. I thought that was the greatest thing. But I could cook, so that was it. And I could taste. So
I could eat.
I wanted to sing, but I didn't have the talent.
Well, I think you do. I
well,
think you're a
thank
good singer, absolutely. Okay, what does serving the people truly mean to you, serving our community the way you do? What's that mean? What's it?
So at the end of the day, I look at myself as nothing more than a public servant. Mm-hmm. I am no different than the person who picks up your trash. Right. We're just contributing in different ways, but we're both working in all government employees, all elected officials should have the attitude of we're all working toward the same thing to make our community a better place, a good place to live, play, work, raise a family.
That's leadership, and that's why everybody in the city gets along really well, the different departments and the collaboration that you do in the city. It's amazing, man, and I think that a lot of it comes from bottom up and top down also, and you meet in the middle, and then you wind up with a great operation.
Exactly.
Let's take this a little deeper for a second, and what are some of the most challenging parts of your position today? You don't have any challenging parts, I'm sure.
He's not going to tell you that.
So I like to say HR would be a great job if it wasn't for the people.
Exactly.
I love the people of Fort Myers. I love the people I work with. I love the people that I work for. But sometimes the expectations of people and what government is and isn't are unrealistic. And that can be very challenging at times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, politics, and it's a very challenging arena to be in, and, everybody's got their own opinion, and you got your own opinion, and somewhere, again, you have to figure that all out, and it can be a little daunting from time to time. Fort Myers faces a lot of challenges, as all big cities do, and we're no different than anybody else, but you have the schools, you have mental health, special needs, unhoused, addiction, and our aging population. A lot of times when we talk about a lot of things here, used to be, that's all we talked about was the aging population, but I think now, today, we need to talk about it a little bit more.
And many of our aging population have almost all of those.
You're pointing to me?
All the issues.
Yeah, you, Al. No, but they have almost all of those issues.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because, just to hit on that a little bit, I'd like to hit on each and every one of them, but when we first came to Florida, it was like aging population that were hidden away on golf courses somewhere, and now
Right.
we're all over the place, us old folks.
And the medium age has dropped.
Yeah.
A lot more younger people. So there are a lot of needs in the community. I have to remind people, though, when it comes to government, especially at the municipal level, we have two major responsibilities, and that is public safety.
Yes.
To keep you safe, to keep our community safe. And the second thing is utilities, that when you turn that tap, you get clean, drinkable water, and when you flush the toilet, it goes away. Everything else is an extra, so to speak. Well, with that being said, I know with my current position and my past position, there are a lot of needs in this community. And I am so thankful that we have so many nonprofit organizations, such as Kimmies, that are stepping up to try and fill the gap, to address those needs. That's why I serve on the board of directors for United Way. That's why I go to every fundraiser I can go to. And my wife usually will join me. But not only do we go, but we contribute. Now, I wish I was one of these people that could pledge $10,000 every time we went someplace. I'm not. But every event we
Five
go,
would be enough.
but we give something because I want to make sure we're at least doing a little bit. And if more people would do a little bit, it adds up.
Yeah, and I think, you hit it on the nail on the head there. Today, none of us can do without each other. And I think we're really realizing that as we mature in this community that we live in. I mean, thank God for all the people that help us out. The collaboration that goes on in Lee County is unbelievable. Going back almost 30 years when we first started here, and we settled here in Fort Myers, it was a big difference. I worked in the hospital all those years as a volunteer, and it just has changed so much. Everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody's, to my liking, is everybody in this community wants to do better and wants to help each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And
like I said, there's so many needs, and sometimes the only solutions seem to be the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
And that is the least cost-effective way to deal with these problems. We cannot arrest our way out of homelessness. We cannot arrest our way out of addiction. We cannot arrest our way out of all of these problems.
Yeah.
We've tried. If it could have been done, it would have been done.
We can't build enough jails. And like I said, that's the least cost-effective way. And that's why it's important that we have all these nonprofits out here working hard every day to make a difference.
Yeah. And if you look at the nonprofits and even the ones for profit, but if you look at them, the support that we get today has really changed a lot. Used to be 2 or 3 of us were raising funds for different charities, 20, 25 years, 30 years. Now there's 20, 30 different charities out there, and they're all needed. There's not one of them that's not doing a great job, and they're all needed, and they're all getting big support.
And when you look at mental health issues and substance abuse issues, I don't think there's a person in this world that doesn't have some degree of mental health issues. The question is to what degree and how manageable it is. And I think all of us have addictive personalities. It's just, again, to what degree and what the addiction is that's going to get us.
Some of them won't get you arrested.
Yes. And every one of us is probably just one step away from that bad decision that could put us off the rails.
Yeah, because a lot of those decisions that put us in the wrong places at the wrong time and then puts us into a prison system or something like that, it's all done because there's something going on with us that maybe was missed when we were a child even. We talk about different charities. We talk about Valerie's house and what she's done. And I mention that because you lost a parent at 4 years old. And that does something to children. And what she's doing over there at Valerie's house is really a blessing. I mean, it keeps kids away from the dark side of the moon.
Oh, absolutely. The advice I got was basically suck it up, kid, life goes on.
Yeah.
And, that was a hard
And that's still a
lesson.
big one today. People
Yes.
want to say, that's what you do. And it's not.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing up Valerie's house. I was on the council and pushed hard for us, the city, to donate the land for the Forever Home. Helped them through that process. Spearheaded the effort to change the street name to match Valerie's House Way. And I'm on their board of directors because I know the work that Valerie's House does and how important it is. And it's an investment not only in the kids' future, but our future.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when we look at a lot of the problems we deal with, they could be traced back. And, you know, I really believe that if we're ever going to get a handle on all these problems, the violence in the schools, you know, the shootings, we've got to strengthen families.
Yeah.
And the only way we can strengthen families is to bring God back into the picture.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, there's no argument here. Now, you know, we just passed by a little bit in the unhoused, and what is the city doing to face some of these issues that we have? And the unhoused is certainly one that we can't ignore. And I know what we do and a lot of our partners do. We work on the HOT team, and we have a food bank here. We have a lot of things to support the community, and we also had a lot of successes with it. We have some people in the room tonight that was unhoused and now are working for and with us. You know, not for us, all of them, but with us. They're working with us as volunteers, and some of them are paid working with us. So I know that something can be done, and I know that the city's looked at it real hard and deep.
So let me back up a little bit, go back in time. COVID. And that really caused a lot of issues with homeless. Our city manager back then and our police chief decided not to enforce the no camping law in the city. Subsequently, Centennial Park became a homeless camp.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, a $90 million hotel is getting ready to open up right next to Centennial Park. Now this is an issue. Should have been an issue all the way along, but now it's an issue. So the park was scheduled to be closed for renovations. And the city manager decided to close the park early because of the opening of the hotel, which basically pushed the homeless other places. Lions Park, at the peak, 38 tents with multiple people living in there. So one Saturday, I was looking at Facebook and I see a post by a homeless advocate, and she's saying the police are kicking them out of Lions Park. They've got no place to go. And I said, I would certainly know that. So I called our homeless officer. He's not homeless. He has a place to live.
Yeah,
he
he's
works
the officer.
with the homeless. Just want to make sure that's clear. We don't have police officers that are homeless. Might be close, but and I called him and I said, Phil, what's going on at Lions Park? And he said, I don't know what she's talking about. We're not doing anything. And then it dawned on me that Salvation Army had a lot behind their property on Edison Avenue. And I said, Phil, what if we took and we moved the tents, let them move over to the lot behind Salvation Army, where they'll have access to hot showers, laundry facilities, internet, food, counseling, all kinds of services. And so 30 days of intensive service right there in their face. He says, that could work, but it's going to take longer than 30 days. You're going to need at least 45. So, hey, whatever. I hang up the phone. I call Roger Mercado, who was the director of Human and Veteran Services at the time. And Roger just hung up with Phil Youngblood. Boom, 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 boom. Roger says, Kevin, I think you're onto something, but it's going to take at least 60 days. So Roger gets with the city manager. They present a plan to me. It's up to 90 days now. We were going to fence off 3 sides of the lot and put up privacy screening, so they'd have privacy. Salvation Army was going to make sure they were fed. We were going to have security there for their safety and intensive services. The county came up with $353,000 for transitional housing. We presented to the city council, and it fails 4-3. Most devastating meeting of my career.
Yeah.
And so the next morning, of course, my phone's lighting up, text messages, emails. I made a list of the 4 who voted no, their email address, their direct city line and their city cell phone. And everybody who contacted me and said, what are you going to do now? I gave them that list and said, no, you call them and ask them what they're going to do.
Right.
In the meantime, Roger and I put our heads together, and we figured out we could accomplish what we wanted to accomplish without needing the city's council approval. It would just take longer. And so we did that. And we got a majority of the homeless into transitional housing, cleaned up Lions Park, and so the numbers have been a little bit more manageable.
Right.
The issue is a lot of this has to deal not with homes or lack of homes, but with mental health issues.
Yes.
Right.
And we have 2 homeless outreach treatment officers
Right.
on the hot team. And they are constantly trying to provide access to services for the homeless people they encounter. Unfortunately, most of them refuse to take it.
Right.
Now, the city manager and I recently agreed that we gave the police department the authority that if they came across a homeless person who had family back wherever they were from, and they just didn't have the resources to get there, that the police department had the authority to buy them a bus ticket and give them some money for eating to get them back to where the family was. So, you can't force services,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think what we're just talking about is good people trying to do good things, and it's difficult to work through all these situations that present themselves to all of us. But again, I think if we continue to present these issues up to the mayor and up to the city council and to the hot team and whoever else our collaborators are.
Yeah, if somebody truly comes forward and says, I want help, I will accept the services, we have the ability to get them into the services.
Good. That's what
To connect them, I should say.
That's what I want to hear. Yeah, and I think again, it just does my heart good to hear Roger Mercado's name. Him and I worked together with Heidi and for a long, long time. So we got a real big heart for that man. Roger, I hope you're listening.
So we probably have about 6 people downtown who are steady, and I think I amaze people sometimes because I'll be walking to lunch with somebody and I'll walk by and call different homeless people by their name.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know them?
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I don't know them personally. We don't hang out. But I know who they are. I know a little bit about them. And, they're not, a lot of people think they're threats to their safety. They're not. Sure, you could be uncomfortable if somebody's sitting there yelling and arguing with themselves. It does make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or some people. But for the most part, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my life like it is. And so that makes it difficult to deal with.
Yeah, yeah, and there was a person that came in the other day and was telling Heidi about that, and Eileen, I think, and you, the mayor, and the person said to me, I can't believe it, I was downtown and the mayor was walking down the street in Fort Myers, I can't believe it, and he said hello to me. I said, well, that's the way he is. That's what he's a great mayor. So, you touch the people that you're surrounded with, and that helps them.
And that's real community.
Yeah,
That's what community is.
Yeah. There's one gentleman downtown, Gregory is his name, and very quiet guy, doesn't bother anybody. Well, Gregory didn't show up for court one time. And of course, there was a warrant issued for his arrest, and he was incarcerated for about 3 weeks. But while he was incarcerated, they got him medicated. Mm-hmm. And he came out, new clothes, clean, very coherent. And I remember the first day I saw him and said, hey, Gregory, I see you're out. And we had a lucid conversation. Mm-hmm. Sadly, every day after, you could see the decline. Yeah. And now he's right back to where he was before he went in jail. So I wish I had the authority or the power or the wherewithal to make sure Gregory got his medications each and every day. But you can't force people to take them.
Well, we can see if we can get you that authority if you're running for mayor again. I don't know if you are or not. Are you running for mayor again?
November.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
All right. All right. Get the flyers out of my car and put them in the tables. But congratulations, you're running again. That's good.
You know, thank you, Alan. And I made a very tough decision right out of the gate, and that was to ask the city manager to resign. And it was not a popular thing to do, but it was the right thing to do. It was a business decision. And we were fortunate enough to locate a city manager who is highly professional, he's ethical, he's well experienced, he's educated, he's level-headed, he's business-minded. I can go on and on and on. And that's why this city is in a much different place now than it was 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Because of that leadership.
The thing that you were talking about earlier about that area, Lions Park and the corner of Edison and Grand, that's ground zero also for recovery. There's a wonderful church at that corner called Grace Church.
Yes.
That reaches out to the homeless all the time. I'm a member of that church, and I watch this stuff happen over and over again. What you talked about, when they left Lions Park, I don't know if how this came about, but the Holiday Inn offered, somehow these homeless people were coming to me and saying, we're going to the Holiday Inn. So, and it was during that time period where they had transitioned from the downtown park to Lions Park, and then they came off of Lions Park and they ended up in the Holiday Inn. How did that happen?
So we only had so many places for transitional living. And we knew we didn't have enough for the amount of people who needed it. So that was Plan B. And we put them up at the Holiday Inn in hopes that we would find the housing, be able to transition them from the Holiday Inn to.
You know, that's what a wonderful work people do to try to help other people. What happens is a lot of people don't want the help to begin with, and then when they get the help, they abuse the help. And I saw that happen in that instance over and over again, where people were copying drugs in that building, selling drugs in that building, and going. It was just terrible.
Well, and then again, that's exactly what he talked about. All the different things, you know, the addiction, the mental health, and you know, those are all part of all this.
Absolutely.
So getting somebody a house, obviously, we know that just getting somebody a place to live isn't the answer.
Absolutely.
You know, there are givers, and there are takers, and then there are users.
Yes.
And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who will use the government or these programs for whatever they can.
Yeah. Well,
before I forget, I want to continue our relationship going forward. You know, Mayor Anderson, I want to thank you for your leadership and for your service and for sharing your heart with us today. From the housing and development, from mental health, recovery, and honoring our veterans as well as the people with special needs, there's a lot to be proud of, and you should be very proud of what you've accomplished along with your team. And the work continues together. We promise to work with you, and I'm sure you'll work with us. I just wanted to sneak that in there, but I want you to go on.
No, I think that's wonderful. I think that deserves a round of applause. So is there anything more that we haven't, that you wanted to say on this platform that you haven't said yet?
So I talked about a very disappointing moment.
Yes.
And let me share a very rewarding moment. And the city manager and I were out looking at the lots that the city owned. And we get residential lots a few different ways, mostly through code violations. And we were trying to sell them and get people to put houses on them, and it wasn't working. So I just said to the city manager, why can't we build a house and sell it at cost? And without hesitation, he responded with, there is no reason we can't.
Beautiful.
And as soon as we got back to City Hall, he reached out to the Director of Community Development and said, we need to put together a program, which he did. So we sold our first house. We closed on it December 20th, 2024, 5 days before Christmas, a single mother with a 10-year-old child. This is a little over 1,400 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, only because of the size of the lot. And CBS, cement block, we made sure we didn't use contractor grade material inside. We didn't want a house that was built cheap.
Right.
You know, we wanted this is going to be someone's home. It cost us $245,000 to build. excluding the land. And we sold it for $245,000.
Nice.
All right.
Now, because it's in the minority-majority census tract, they were entitled to 97% financing, $10,000 down payment assistance,
Awesome.
and 1 point off the interest rate. Gets better with this one. She also qualified for $75,000 through Lee Cares.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Her mortgage is $165,000 on a house that cost $245,000 that was assessed at or appraised at $317,000.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
Her mortgage payment is $600 less a month than what her rent was.
Oh, boy.
Now, not only did we put someone in a home, a first-time homeowner, we took a vacant lot that cost us money to maintain. It's now on the tax rolls. We put a nice house in an area that could use a nice house. We've helped this lady out, and we've given her ability now to save money, to maybe invest it, or even to be able to spend it, which is good for the community. So we're finishing up House 4 and 5, and we just approved the House 6 and 7. We're going to try and do 50 of them over the next 5 years.
Very nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Let me ask you one more question. And how does somebody qualify for that type housing?
Where do I apply?
Well, you got to be a city resident.
Okay.
Okay. You've got to be in the area medium income range of 80 to 120%, and you have to be able to qualify for the mortgage.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Al did
Yeah.
a great job. Give Kevin,
A lot of
Mayor
information.
Anderson, a nice round of applause. And one of the things that Mayor Anderson and I have in common is, I don't know if you know, Al has this in common. He's a tremendous fan of classic rock. Did you know that? Don't you?
Well,
Yeah.
me too.
And you, yes. I didn't mean to. Yes. And we all are tremendous fans of classic rock. We're going to take another break. Give Mayor Anderson a nice round of applause. And you're in for a real treat, because when we come back, we're going to be entertained by an international violinist named Luna, simply Luna. We'll be right back.
Amazing.
Great job, baby.
Struggle with challenges? At the Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmies Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmies Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. We do this little nut of a show every week. We do start the live portion of the show every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Watch it on YouTube. And you can also, if you miss it, you can go back and watch the show again. Like if you wanted to see this show and you weren't home in time, so go back on once. It may take 24 hours to upload it to YouTube, but you can watch it as early as tomorrow morning. This next guest here in front of me has been a longtime favorite of our show, and we really, really appreciate the people that come down here and donate their time. She has got her whole family with her, and because she has lots of little children, and they're here with us tonight. And before we start, I want you to lean over here to me and tell everybody who you are and how they can get your music.
Got you. Okay, so I go by Luna Mooney when I'm performing. My government is Lena Rodriguez, but when I'm on stage playing the violin, it's Luna Mooney. I do everything, any type of event, weddings, memorials, anything you can name it, I play it. I also teach violin, and you can find me at lunamooney.com, LUNAMUNI.com.
Very nice. Would you play for us tonight? Yes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Luna Mooney. Well, that was fantastic. And would you do one more song? Yeah. Well, thank you. Luna Mooney, ladies and gentlemen. Give her another round of applause. Wow. I think they like you. Once again, you can find her at lunamooney.com, and she's available for your dining and dancing pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. We'll see you next week.